What's up, SNA fans? This Super Ninja Austin back here with another video. And then, this is your usual daily wrestling news video. But this time it's on March 19th, 2024. And we're going to be talking about the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know from the Fightful Select article. And the wrestling news are just getting more and more interesting for the past couple of days. And let's hope that it continues that way. And some just tells me that will be the case. And make sure to watch until the very end because it's going to indeed get more and more interesting. And so most of y'all say but Super Ninja, if you know if it's going to get more and more interesting, why did you ask? Why did you ask yourself? Hopefully, it continues that way. Well, but I'm just saying for y'all's entertainment side of things, that's the reason why I would even mention it in the first place, and hopefully you will enjoy it, and it's something that y'all be entertained about. But without any delay, let's start off with Shawn Spears talks about departure from AEW. He says jumped on the opportunity to return to NXT. Shawn Spears talks leaving AEW and returning to WWE. In December 2023, Shawn Spears announced that he was leaving All Elite Wrestling. This news didn't come as a shock to many fans, as Spears had only wrestled for the company in a handful of occasions throughout 2023. On the February 27th episode of NXT a month ago, Spears did shock the world as he returned to NXT and attacked Ridge Holland. While speaking to Fightful for a new interview, Spears spoke about leaving AEW and noted that it was an amicable decision. And what else did he say? Oh yeah, I'll say he didn't really say nothing else. And I'm right. He did say something else. He said it's very important to me. I am somebody who for throughout the course of 20 plus years that I've been doing this, one thing that's gonna be hard for them to say is that I have been unprofessional. I'm a very big believer that in pro wrestler in pro wrestler that would professional in paramount, like it's key, it's most more almost not most almost more my apologies, almost more important to me than the second word that comes into play. It was in micro in micro in my it was a microble it was a microble absolutely, as was me leaving in 2019. I I like to think that over the years I have accumulated like a level of respect from my peers from the people that employed me. There's absolutely a two-way street. Like they're with a great deal of respect. So having things like that will prevent things like from being nasty. That like they don't need to get to that point. I it was just a time that I felt I was best. I was I mean, at the time it was best for me. Best for me, the best of my family, and as difficult as some decisions are, like sometimes it's nice to know that mutual respect can allow things to go smoothly, much smoothly than they may. Spears then also added, I went on to talk about returning to WWE and how he jumped on the opportunity to join the NXT brand. He explained, it was important to me to be able to come back to this company. That was the first big question of whether or not it was a possibility. Once the possibility was a definite possibility, then became it become about what is the best course of action to take going forward. Let's be honest. Let's be clear as day. I'm not gonna tell you guys anything you don't already know. WWE's on fire across the board. The numbers have never been better, and I don't know all the numbers. Don't get me wrong. I don't know all the numbers, but what I do know of them is uh, that we are smashing record after record. The audience or the attendance. I said the attendance is going through the roof. Like merchandise is off the charts. That wheel, like that we talked about, is spinning like faster and stronger than ever. So to be able to come back into that and be a spoke on that wheel again and be able to contribute in any way that I can is massive. Like once the opportunity come to come came to come to NXT, I jumped all over it. There's gonna be people watching like this right now, like that are saying, why wouldn't you want to go to Raw? Why wouldn't you once you go to SmackDown? NXT is also killing it. I've been here for a couple of weeks. Like now, I've been here for a couple of weeks now, and I have seen a talent that has blown me away. What I love about that is that it takes me back to when I first started training or it reminds me of my time here, like in the performance center, being in the spot that they're in that they're in right now, knowing where they knowing when they are going to have the possibility to go the things like they're gonna go through. I'm I'm able to help guide in that sense, to to with I got in that sense too with my time here at the performance center. My responsibilities in WWE are a little more than just in the ring. That is that is something like that I don't take lightly, and and something I am massively interested in. I at at the end of the day, what it what it boils down, what it boils down like to after a conversation with my wife, I get to wake up every morning and see my son and play with him and do whatever I need to do, and then I get to be home in my bed every night sleeping beside my wife. So in the middle of that, the in between that, if I get to go hang out and learn from learn from the Shawn Michaels of our world, like, or the Matt Blooms, like of I or I get to be a big kid in between those very important things, and I get to do that every day. Tell tell me how I made the wrong call. Tell me how I made a bad decision there, man. Spears then went on to chat his, about his negotiation with WWE, like mentioning how the company wasn't even bringing people a year ago due to the hiring freeze. He added, I think it kind of goes back to the respect of the mutual respect and in the contacts like that I have I made over the course of a pretty lengthy career. I had a few friends like that still work in WWE, and I've kept in touch with them all throughout like the years that went it it started getting floated out like there that I was leaving my previous stop. Then it was more about, well, what do you want to do next? Do did you want to come back? Do you want us to reach out? Everybody was offering a helping hand, so to speak. Eventually, what it boiled down to was me just after having conversations with my wife and and weighing out what was best for us timing wise. I reached out I reached out, and thankfully there was a possibility there. That's the thing. You said a year ago, there's nothing happening. A a year ago, no one's getting hired this business, and you probably like know better than anybody else. It changes almost daily. It's ever evolving. Like it's fast, and when we're talking about the biggest company in the world, when we're talking about WWE, who is beyond global to the point uh, we're talking universe. It is a massive company. It is a massive, fast machine. So things are going to change in business. Like talks like percent percent. So if there's an opportunity or a star like Cody Rhodes available, you're going to take him. A star like Jade, you're going to take her. It's just good business. Like even Lexus King, who you mentioned, there's a big difference between a Lexus King and now and Lexus King now and Brian Pillman. That you've seen before. A lot of it is just the big WWE machine that has a wonderful history of making superstars. So yeah, it came about rather quick and happily, like quickly. It's in an ever changing business, and you never know like who's going to pop up when that's the biggest thing I was happy about is that we were able to keep things a pretty quiet until we unleash it in NXT. Spears was then prompted to talk about keeping his return a secret, as he that noted that he didn't tell his family or many of his friends with him with him ending this interview saying that first quote I gave you, it spun you guys like left, right, and center. Yeah, and that's the thing. We understand how the world works. No, like nowadays, like everybody wants the information, and a lot of people want to be the first to reveal the information. But this was pretty much kept close to the chest. I didn't tell a lot of friends. I didn't tell a lot of close friends. I didn't told. I didn't even tell my wife, and I didn't tell her. Her. I do not tell your friends. Don't tell your best friend, most specifically Jessica McKay. I don't I don't tell anybody. I didn't tell my family. I didn't tell anybody. The main people that knew was Hunter, Sean, his team here, and that was pretty much it. A lot of the coaching staff uh, had no idea. The talent had zero ideas. I was kept in a room for the majority of the day, even when that broke. Even when news broke that Sean had stood for me, I was there. I was already there. I was already in the building. It was just a matter of keeping things as tight lipid lipid like lipid as possible, because I get excited to got inside too. I get excited when someone shows up out of the blue. I get excited when oh, this is gonna happen, and they throw me like a curveball, and I go, oh, I didn't see that coming. I love that feeling in a day and age where information is so acceptable, or things are tapped, or things are aired in advance, or spoilers get out, or stuff like that. It's still nice, like, like nowadays, to get hit off guard, so that was our goal. And kudos to Shawn Michaels, Matt Bloom, and Johnny Russo, who's the lead writers here in NXT, setting that debut, setting that to debut a masterpiece tease. They're a masterpiece tease where masterpiece T, like, to be a part of that, and to feel that moment. It was a home run in terms of oh, oh, there he is, he's back. So shout out to those guys. Obviously, wonderful minds, but big shout out for being able to keep it quiet as long as they did, because it was it was probably about 4 weeks where we're able to keep things quiet. Fans can check out Fightful's interview with Sean Spears on the video down below. I I linked on top, or on top of this article, I should say. And furthermore, Fightful will have full coverage of NXT on tonight's, which should begin on 8 p.m. Eastern. Fans can see the updates um, for the show, right on the other article. But what are your thoughts on Sean Spears' interview about his departure with AEW, and then and him explaining of some of the reasons why he left WWE 5 years ago in his first run, and and then he and then yeah, what are your thoughts on him making this jump back to WWE? And he was thinking to himself, like, this could be an opportunity of a lifetime to make things better with the company that he really didn't had any moments, had that much a moment, only just his character in NXT is the perfect 10, but not that many accolades and achievements of being in WWE, let alone championships, which he can do so now as he's back. But this time his name that he used in AEW rather than the name WWE gave him, which was Ty Dillinger. But we but he's gonna go by the name Sean Spears. And I believe he even has the same nickname in persona as the chairman, which I believe he does, because he made his return by whacking Rich Hall with that steel chair, and he's making Rich Hall try to hit him with that chair, which I believe Rich Holland did so. Like, he finally got his revenge on him, like, which it cost him a DQ, match by DQ, I should say. And also, like, he be hearing, like, some people that's either around him, like, or on the internet saying like, if like you made your return on NXT, like how come you didn't make your return on the main roster? What if that being Raw or SmackDown? Which he responded like NXT is killing it too, just as much as Raw and SmackDown is right now with this new regime, this new management, new new pretty much everything, especially TKO being a part of WWE's uh, part of. I mean, TKO and WWE are bringing in some like some success and like some success, and then with and the head bookers such as like Triple H and Shawn Michaels and others, like and those two are the top two are the reason why the reason why he got back in WWE in the first place, and the only two that knew about it, like the only two that knew about it, like at the time, like when when he was a secret a secret surprise, I guess you could say, yeah, until the day of when he made his return, when he attacked Ridge Holland with that steel chair, and and then everybody was shocked in the arena because it was something that we thought we would never see in the next decade. Like, and even if he did make his return, you would have expected it to be either on Raw or SmackDown because he's already well developed, I guess we could say, unless they unless they just want that. Unless they wanted him to go there just to create some, I'd say, to create some magic and moments on the NXT brand, like continuing that momentum on NXT to be more of a recognizable name, like to watch as the third show in WWE. Then that would make plenty of sense in the world. And I wouldn't put past a championship run, whether that be in the NXT championship or the North American championship. I'll say, but not against Oba Femi. Yeah, Oba's not gonna be losing that title anytime soon. So I would say maybe he probably would fight Ilya Dragunov. Like that's only if he doesn't lose the title to Tony D'Angelo, because D'Angelo's looking ready right now, like of having to run with the title. Yeah, I would say the only way Sean Spears will be going for the championship, like if he can prove him, if that's only if he can prove himself by breaking out some wins and continuously doing that. Even though WWE don't care much about rankings, it's about popularity and getting on the top in the main event slot and get over with the fans. But yeah, But yeah, let me know about this in the comments down below. Like, and he even said that his return, like was so much of a secret to the point he didn't even tell his friends and yeah, at least his friends that are either not in WWE or even if even the ones that are still working in WWE, and even his wife. What's her name? Cassie Lee, formerly known as Peyton Royce. But but yeah, let me know about his return in the comments down below. What your thought on him uh, talking about like the reason why he made his return, and tell me and then tell me what's your reaction of basically what Sean Spears just said. He had like perhaps like three different paragraphs, three different long paragraphs, like of him on this interview with Fightful. Let's move on to the next wrestling news, and hopefully he'll have a much better and successful run, like I said before, when he made his shocking return, like in February 27th. And yeah, let's move on to the next wrestling news, which is uh, a hot one that everybody's been talking about for nearly a week. Is Booker T like uh, on about nearly getting into an altercation with the returning Chicago-made superstar, with him saying don't take it seriously. Like when I'm saying like something about CM Punk, I'm trying to entertain. Booker T says he's just trying to entertain on on a recent episode of his Hall of Fame podcast. Booker T claimed that he almost got into it with CM Punk in NXT on March 12th. His comments sparked some controversy, and he took to social media to note that people were making much to do about nothing. And yeah, speaking on his on yeah, speaking on the Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T uh, followed up on his comments about stated that people should not take him seriously when he says something about CM Punk because he's not Jack Perry or the Elite. But anyways, and he was just trying to entertain. He said, I saw somebody said I just want to see you and CM Punk have a fight. Look look, me and CM Punk, we won't be having a fight, okay? I want to let everybody know out there I have no ill will towards CM Punk. Con- contrary to popular belief, I consider CM Punk a friend. So so when uh so when I'm saying like something about CM Punk, do do not take it literally like the internet and these sites don't take like it seriously. Like don't jump into the mud. Like if you hear me say anything here on the Hall of Fame, it's show related. I'm trying to entertain my fans. I'm trying to entertain the fans that's watching this. I'm trying to give you guys a moment where you ain't got to think about that like kind of stuff. All right? Like so let me say something like about CM Punk. Corey Graves, Michael Cole, Brad Gilmore, like don't jump in the internet like mess. Like all right, like so let's just get that out there like right now that because that story that 40-second story that people wrote like it was clickbait like that's what that's what it was more than anything like did I put it out there like out there like did I say it as 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 just as far as I had a beef going to I was going to run up yeah and I said it I'm entertaining guys he said Fightful Select reported that like sources were skeptical about Booker T's claims, and some were frustrated with his comments, given Punk's history with backstage incidents. Punk has said that he will be at WrestleMania 40. More information is available, which we're going to talk about up next. But before we do, what are your thoughts on Booker T confessing that this was all just the work, like on his podcast of like about 5 days ago? because he said it on his Hall of Fame podcast back in uh back in Thursday. And yeah, Reggie Booker T admitted that it was all just a work, and I figured that was the case because if it was like it was a if it, even if it was a shoot, everybody would knew about it, and then they would have somewhat they would gave some kind of punishment to Booker and CM Punk, like what if it's a suspension, a fine, or both. He would be mentioning it on his podcast, and especially if he was absent on NXT, like in this, like if he was, especially if he was absent on NXT on tonight's show, then that would have showed a sign that CM Punk and him got into it, and they're suspended. Like something similar to like when CM Punk and Jack Perry when they got into it last year at All In because of Jungle Boy Jack Perry, or just Jack Perry because he killed the Jungle Boy character. But anyways, yeah, he used some real glass anyways, like just because he wanted to provoke CM Punk for some reason, like saying like this is real glass, like go cry me a river, which I'm not sure if that was even necessary, like to do so. Like that was very childish, if you ask me. Like because you don't have to prove anything to nobody. Like doing some very doing some very some immature actions like this in order and it's going to be harming you more than it's going to be harming the person you're trying to provoke. Like it just don't make any sense. Like I understand what was Jack Perry was even doing in the first place, but I think he got what he got from Tony Khan was very punishment enough, but it cost CM Punk his career. But luckily, it turned into a blessing in disguise because CM Punk returned to WWE. He can achieve his dream, like in his WWE goal, in his goal book, like, and that is finishing his story, main eventing WrestleMania. Unfortunately, it won't be this year, but some of y'all might be saying that how do you know that? Because why is he returning on next week's Monday Night Raw, even though it's just a one-off and it's in his hometown in Chicago, Illinois. He still has that injury, and he said whether if he gets, even if he's going to rehab, it's gonna be a long recovery process in the next few months. So I'm not sure if he's gonna enter back in the ring anytime soon. And this could be just a one-off to say hi to everybody, all the fans, and 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 help to promote WrestleMania. And he's gonna be some kind of commentator. He's probably gonna be a commentator role at WrestleMania, like with his uh with his triceps. I mean, I could be wrong. I wouldn't doubt that, like because in pro wrestling, I never said never, and I'm gonna stick to that. Like I'm saying, like I'm not sure if he's gonna show up to WrestleMania. I just don't think that's just only in my opinion, but things could change. And there could be a possibility he can do the unthinkable and actually like it could be clear enough to compete at WrestleMania. We could possibly see him steal the spotlight of the tag team match at night one, and I don't think it'll be against Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, but it could be somebody that comes up in face to face. We could possibly see him like doing a dream match with Stone Cold Steve Austin, but that's only if that's the case. But we're just gonna have to wait and see. Or even John Cena can face him at the main event of Night One's WrestleMania, right after The Rock and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Like what we know about WrestleMania is plenty of surprises. On most WrestleManias, we like anything can happen at the show of shows. Like we're gonna see some big moments, big matches, and some and most of the time some satisfying moments in that matter. Yeah. But let's move on to the next slide. But yeah, I kind of figured Booker T was just working the fans because there's no way that, or else they would be getting punishments right now, and he would be mentioning it on his Hall of Fame podcast. And then he, even though he wouldn't talk about much about him and his altercation with CM Punk if they legitimately got into a fight, it and it wasn't reported like to sources like from very famous journalists that uh, that uh, that uh, that the security guards were trying to break things up at the PC, like when he was visiting when he was visiting everybody there, and then for those at NXT when he was in attendance to NXT, and I'm not sure if they're have a match because Booker T was like, I don't think we're gonna have a fight or a match, like despite me trying to work you guys, like it's all trying to create some drama, which I'm not sure if it impressed everybody. Like, yeah, considering to from CM Punk's previous legitimate legitimate backstage altercations with the likes of Omega, the Bucks, and Perry. And let's hope, again, the next time we hear that he's in a backstage altercation, that it's going to be all part of the script and all part of the show. Like with them hyping up a big match, whether it being on a bigger pay per view or even on the smaller B plus pay per view, and it don't have nothing to do with him getting punished and getting suspended or even worse, released, just like in AEW. But But yeah, let's move on to the next news. As Punk said, he'll be at WrestleMania 40. You saying you can't have WrestleMania in Philadelphia without Phil, and I mean that's true, and that's a good line for him to say because his real name is Phil, and yeah, they're gonna be at Philadelphia this April, and that's a Again, that's a good line when you're spelling Philadelphia. And two, that's the best line of bringing up. You cannot have WrestleMania without without the Chicago-made star himself being there. Like into this what's this analogy? But anyways, this but yeah this is where a CM Punk will be at April for WrestleMania 40, and in a video package of the best in the world, like I aired on the March 18th episode of Raw, mainly to promote Punk's appearance on the March 25th episode of Raw, which will take place in Chicago, Illinois. Punk also took a moment to the package to confirm that he'll indeed be at WrestleMania 40, noting that you can't have a WrestleMania in Philadelphia without Phil in attendance. Like Punk also stated that he'll be there even if he isn't invited. Punk has been out of action since the 2024 Men's Royal Rumble match this January, where he tore his tricep. It is currently unknown when Punk will return to the ring for action. Fightful will update fans when more matches and segments are announced for the March 25th episode of Raw. In the meantime, I head over to our events selection to check out the card for both nights of WrestleMania 40. Also, stay up to date with Fightful's coverage of Raw by going on to their next article in this link. But let me ask you this question: what are your thoughts on CM Punk sending this message? And do you think that he will indeed will be at WrestleMania 40, even if he's not in the match, let alone going to be wrestling, or even being invited and been given an invitation by WWE of attending WrestleMania, whatever the role may be, whether if it's a commentary role or a special guest referee role, or whatever, or wherever the case may be in the scenario. Let me know in the comments down below, and let's hope that it's great news for Punk. When he makes it to this year. When he makes it to this year's show of shows. And do you think he will indeed be a part of WrestleMania? Make sure to leave your comments down below. But let's move on to the next wrestling news. We got some Trey Miguel news on. And next up, we got some Trey Miguel news as he says that he didn't motion capture work for Cody Rhodes in W2K24. Trey Miguel did motion capture work for WWE 2K24. The former X Division champion took to social media on Tuesday, March 19th, and revealed that he did some motion capture work for Cody Rhodes in WWE 2K24. Miguel specifically noted that he did the motion capture for Rhodes' top rope Cody cutter manu 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 manuever I should pronounce it but anyways. And here's a video of Miguel doing that, the motion pictures. Okay. Well, actually, a double version of the Cody Cutter on Brock Lesnar. I don't understand why it showed that though, but I guess there's no videos of him showing how he was doing some manuever special moves onto what's his name on Cody Rhodes. But it says right here that in the past, other stars such as Jordynne Grace, Chris Bay, Chelsea Green, Lady Frost, Trish Adora, and Starboy Charlie, Jacob Fatu, Kenny King, Titus Alexander, Alan Angels, Zachary Wentz, and Jake Something have all done motion capture work for the game. And WWE 2K24 is now available to purchase on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series S, and X, and Xbox One, and PC. Fans can check out wrestling gaming news by visiting visiting Fightful's gaming selection right here on this link, and also Cody Rhodes has had fighting words for The Rock in a promotion on in a not promotion promo. He had a fighting words on The Rock on a promo on last night's episode of Raw on March 18th. Uh, and and fans can learn more information about it on this article on this link. But but I'm gonna ask this question: what are you guys' thoughts on Chris Bay? Uh, I'm not Chris Bay. What I'm talking about, even though he's a part of this motion capture, the way he does Trey Miguel, being being in the motion capture, like for Cody Rhodes' signature move and other wrestlers that are athletic, which I wouldn't doubt he's the same with Ricochet. That's only if he's doing that for Ricochet. But they didn't say who exactly that these wrestlers outside of WWE are or motion capturing, but they did say they're doing it for WWE 24, like the wrestlers in AEW and WWE, like whether I mean not AE, whether like some of them that just came back from WWE, like Chelsea Green, and like wrestlers that are on TNA or AEW, like Chris Bay, Jordynne Grace, Zachary Wentz, and Trey Miguel, and then on AEW we got Lady Frost, Trish Adora, and others. And who else do you think that's doing some motion capture on W2K24? And do you guys got your games out like already? I mean, y'all not game. I mean, y'all got y'all's games out of y'all's local stores, like and y'all playing it now. Like, let me know in the comments down below. And if you do, and if you do have it, and if you did purchased it, like what game did you got it on your specific game system, and what's your specific gaming console do you got it on for? Let me know in the comments down below about that as well. But let's move on to the next wrestling news. We got some Mandy Rose news next, as she says, "I feel a little guilty about Toxic Attraction ending in some unfinished business. In there's some unfinished business." Mandy Rose teases that she has unfinished business in wrestling. WWE released former NXT Women's Champion Mandy Rose in December 2022, reportedly due to uh, re, rise, risk, risk, risk of a rescue content, rescue, if I pronounce that correctly, rescue content like on her fan time page. Rose has yet to return to the ring, and she previously said that she did not have the itch to wrestle again. However, she has also said that the door is not closed on a potential return. Speaking with Jamal Niaz, like at for the love of wrestling via Monopoly event, Mandy Rose was asked whether she missed wrestling, and if she wants to come back at some point. She noted that she felt bad about the ending of her Toxic Attraction group, with Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. And she said, days like today, I will say, there was a part of me when I was sitting in the ring, doing the Q&A, and and all the fans were there. I don't miss it. I will say, I said in an interview, not too long ago, that I didn't really have the itch. Like, I don't know if I have the itch to go back and wrestle full time right now. However, I don't miss the fans. I miss the ca- the ca- the ca- the camarades the camarades. I miss adre- the adrenaline rush. I'm doing a lot of amazing things, and I'm so grateful for where I'm at in my life. But do I have that adrenaline rush? Not really. I think and a little guilty in the sense of, like, we had something going so amazing, and I kind of feel for the girls, like, in the group, because they don't hold it against me or anything, but it's just one of those things. There may be there is something in the future, so never say never. I don't think the door is fully shut. The boots aren't totally hung up, so you'll just have to wait and see, she said. Mandy Rose recently stated that she does not think she does not think that she's done with wrestling. But what are your thoughts on Mandy Rose, like, on her on this uh, interview, and talking about that she feels a little guilty and perhaps embarrassed because he rapped in a way that still had JC and Gigi hanging. Is barely the two out of the three of the Toxic Attraction, and then there's most of the fans that that felt that it wasn't the same without her being their leader. And also, and she also said, like, yeah, never say never. And also, I guess only a matter of time when she gets back into the squared circle. Like, whether if it be in today or tomorrow or next week or whenever the time may be right. Like, but let's hope it's sooner rather than later. Like, even though she haven't been, like, recognized as the main eventer in the main roster, but she did kill it in NXT. I gotta admit, like, she she was the one of the top stars on their second run in NXT as the main as a main eventer in the women's division, the most prestigious division in all of professional wrestling. And some just tells me that AEW is going to be the same way in the next 6 months. But we're just gonna have to wait and see. But anyways, let me know in the comments down below on what your thoughts on Mandy Rose. Do you think that she's gonna go? Is she's going to make a return in professional wrestling? Like, and if so, where do you think she's gonna go land at? Like, WWE, AEW? Yeah, just let me know down below. And what I would think she would probably would be using her real name. What's her name? I'll say not Amanda, but like Mandy, what's it, Saxel? What I forget her name. I forget, but let me know in the comments down below, like and what your and what's your on on your knowledge of her last name. I knew what her last name was, but it's very long, and I've totally forgot about it. Like I'm such a moron right now. But anyways, let's move on to the next wrestling news. But I wish her the best, whether if she's going back to WWE or even go to AEW, which it seems like that as in recent weeks, like whether if you're in from WWE, New Japan, or wherever at, they're gonna be signing with AEW. Like from the past few weeks, it's been the case like with the likes of Will Ospreay, Kazuchika Okada, Mercedes Moné, and who knows, we could possibly see Mandy Rose be back on the list, but not as Rose though. But more likely her real name, unless she filed a trademark for a different kind of name, like altogether, or at least or on her last name side of things, something similar to Monet. But yeah, let's move on to the next wrestling news, and we got some news and notes on the latest episode of NXT, like with Fightful Selects Corey Brandon, like Corey Brennan has learned several details on this past week's the NXT show. CM Punk was backstage at this week's show, but kept a much low profile than previous visits. Many within NXT were not aware of his presence, like until photos began making the round. Walking Wild was originally supposed to get more distance distance on his dive, leaving OTM to recover to catch him in time. Walking continues to do the praise for his willness to partake in such in such large spots. What am I even talking about? Is this even news? I think this is some kind of recap, but yeah, we also got Tatum Paxley popped up from behind when Roxanne Perez was on the microphone, like addressing the fans, like why she attacked Lyra, and then we also got Carmelo Hayes wasn't on tonight on last night's well, I mean not last week's NXT, and then Gigi Dolan faced Ariana Grace, but it ended with Ariana Grace low blowing Gigi Dolan, but Gigi Dolan got right back with a low blow of her own, which she lost by DQ because the referee saw it, and then this is where we got a in-ring segment with Trick Williams. Well, you know the rest, but let me know about this in the comments down below. And yeah, we all obviously knew that CM Punk already made his return because I'm not made his return. We already knew about CM Punk making an appearance. I'm making being in attendance. Like made his presence and be one of the attendants of last week's developmental show. And let me know all about this in the comments down below on what your thoughts onto this matter, and do you and do you guys want to and do you guys want to excuse me, and what are your guys' thoughts on CM Punk making making his presence to NXT last week and watched the show as part of an attendance, like in a low profile. Let me know in the comments down below. But you can see him on like with pictures posting on social media with him with Braun Breaker and Trick Williams and them. Taking a picture, with some of the NXT guys on the roster. Like, and then and let's hope that everybody forget about the negative parts of Booker T was working the fans. But and even if they do have a match, let's hope it's more on the positive note, more rather than negativity, and more than the negativity kind. But let's move on to the final news. No, we got the one. We'll do one more news before one more news after this one. But we got some we got some news about Dustin Rhodes talks to Mercedes Monet's AEW debut and said, "I can't wait to see her journey here." Dustin Rhodes talks Mercedes Monet in AEW. The CEO arrived to the promotion on March 13th as she opened the big business edition of AEW Dynamite to a thunderous ovation. Monet also appeared at the end of the show, and shook hands with a former opponent from her New Japan days, Willow Nightingale. And anyways, just days before Monet's next appearance, with AEW, which will come on the March 20th episode of AEW Dynamite, Dustin Rhodes sat down with sports guys talk wrestling podcast for a new interview. In the chat, Rhodes talked about Monet's debut and stated that he's always been a big fan of hers. He said, "A big thing when we're backstage, and we now and we know somebody is about to debut. We are we are all there, and we want to watch this big debut, especially with a talent like talent the cal- the calib the caliber of Mercedes Monet. Her music hit, and it was defending the Boston crowd. They're always like that, but that's her home. She's from Boston. She loves Boston, and that crowd just blew the lid off of that place. It it was it was great to see that, great to hear that. I'm happy for her. She came in because of our women's division, because our women's division has gotten so good to have all these dream matches that she could set up and have that have with all of our talent, man. It's just incredible. I can't wait to watch her journey here. I watched it from one day. Have always been a big fan, and I love her to death. She's coming into AEW and is only gonna do big business for us, and it's truly a great time to be a wrestling fan. And it says right here, fans can see update lineup of March 20th episode of AEW Dynamite, what's going to be on the card with matches and segments. Details about Mercedes Monet's contract with AEW recently surfaced. Fans can surfaced like all around I'll say the IWC, I guess you could say. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Dustin Rhodes' comments on the latest signing of the latest AEW signing of the CEO, also known as Mercedes Monet, of course. Like, and what are your thoughts on him? Like thinking that she's gonna be putting on some like thousands of dream matches in All Elite Wrestling, which that's what I said when I recap AEW Big Business. I'm like, when we can have these dream matches with the likes of like Chris Statlander, what's her name, Chris Statlander, Britt Baker, whenever she comes back from her injury, and she also mentioned that she has unfinished business with Willow Nightingale, and she also said like them, and then I think she named a couple of wrestlers, which I can't remember right now, but yeah, I can name them right here by thinking about it. Like it was Willow, Statlander, Julia Hart, even Tony Storm, with somebody that she only wrestled a couple of times in their days on WWE on the SmackDown brand. But yeah, um, but yeah, we can also see her face them, and then Soraya, because she also had unfinished business with her as well from their time in WWE, and also who else like and it may be Athena, like whenever she makes her come back to AEW, like because she's been full time on Ring of Honor as their women's championship over there. But yeah, we can see plenty of dream matches. Like, and that's probably gonna make this AEW roster this roster in that specific division alone the most prestigious roster, just as much as WWE's NXT roster, like I just mentioned earlier. But anyways, yeah, like and also not to mention Deonna Purrazzo. I forgot to tell that. I apologize for that. And maybe even facing Hikaru Shida would be a very fantastic will be a fantastic contest, I guess you could say. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below, like if you agree with Dustin Rhodes, which I totally agree with him all the way. Yeah, she's a very is a very wonderful and what's that? A very wonderful and what I'll say magnificent competitor in this business, like in professional wrestling overall. Like whether if she was in WWE or even in New Japan, like, and she's gonna bring in that same magic to AEW, like she said in plenty of interviews. Like, and let's hope that will be more likely the case. Like now that she's officially all elite, which it's seeming like that. Like if AEW have some plans for, like you don't have to be immediate. Like just give them about a couple of months, and they probably will have something for her to do there, like in some kind of programming. Like whether if it's with, I don't know, with a returning Britt Baker or even Serena Deeb, like for a start. Like just to build her up in a few feuds and put her in like a dozen, put her in a dozen, if not like a dozen and a half or double dozens of matches, like and then once she's done with a few programming that Tony Khan has for her, she can go up on the card, be the number one on the rankings and on the number one contender spot, like which we could finally see her get a shot at the AEW Women's Championship. And let's hope Timeless Tony Storm will stay as that champion. That's that championship, and then she indeed should be the one that should dethrone Tony Storm. Like, and that would be, and that would be one of the greatest moments in all Elite Wrestling history. Like overall, from the past 5 years of being an existing wrestling promotion. But let's move on to the next wrestling news. And next up, we got some Nikita Lyons. Like, I Lyons news now, as she said, every time I've experienced an injury, like I've discovered myself more. Nikita Lyons finds a positive in her injured in getting injured, I guess. Like not in injured, I mean getting injured. Like in January 2023, like Nikita Lyons suffered a torn ACL and meniscus. She returned in December, but she has been sidelined like since February as she suffered another injury. And while speaking on Booker T's Hall of Fame podcast, to to yeah to Booker T and Brad Gilmore, Nikita Lyons was asked to describe how she picks herself back up when these injuries when these injuries and setbacks happen. She said, honestly, it kind of coin it coincides with the constant rejection, growing up in the entertainment industry, while is more of a physical manifestation within my physical body. I mean, it sucks. Like, not gonna lie, it's painful and it sucks. I don't want to sugarcoat like and be like, yeah, like everything's great, like and dandy. No, there's days where it's really tough, like really difficult, where I don't know, like I don't. I mean, I don't. Where I don't not know. I don't want to look at the internet. I don't need to do any of that. I want to focus on how. However, like every single time I've experienced an injury, I've always discovered like myself even further. I've always found different parts of me that are simply just as memories, like because we just come back to who we are. But I always learn so much. It sucks, obviously. I want to be done while laughing. I I want to be done now, but stuff happens. It just happens, like especially in our line of work. Like it's it's just part of it. Like, and I accept that. I honestly like, and I do get hurt. I, it gives me the chance to be even better. Like, okay, that version wasn't strong enough. That version needed some tweaking, needed some work. Okay, I'm gonna accept this challenge, and I am gonna come back better than ever. She said. And what are your thoughts on the, onto this onto this paragraph of the interview, like of seeing the positive blessing in disguise out of the matter of being injured, of yeah, finding an opportunity in the journey of recovery, like and learn from getting injured in that location ever again, and and then yeah, and then also learning how to do stuff like this. Considering she's like been in the entertainment industry for like I'd say the majority of her life. Like of course she's going to be used to it. Of course, yeah. But Lyons also discussed her experience working towards recovery, like and and an aunt and hunting and hunting her